What's up guys, this is Benjamin with the Music Academy, where our mission is to make music simple. And in this video, we're going to be exploring the question, how long does it actually take to learn the piano? Now first, the answer to that is that it really depends on what your goals are, right? So if you have a goal to just play a pop love song for your boyfriend or girlfriend, well, I can teach you how to do that in just like a day. But if your goal is to be a concert pianist, it's going to take at least a minimum of 2 years. So first we got to define what is the goal for what we're trying to do with piano. So the goal that I think every single pianist should strive for is what I like to call baseline fluency. Now you might ask yourself like, okay, what is baseline fluency? Well, baseline fluency is the point at which you can speak a language fluently without thinking about it. Now to use English as a metaphor, most children are going to get to baseline fluency in about 3 to 4 years, right? That's when children are able to speak fluently in their language. Now it might be pretty basic English, right? Like they might not be able to understand jokes or poetry or like big words, but they will at least be able to communicate effortlessly. And so that's what I want to get you to on piano, is to be able to communicate in music effortlessly. Now, unlike a speaking language on the piano or in music, getting to baseline fluency is a lot simpler. And so you can really achieve this level on the piano in about 6 months. Now, why do I say 6 months? Well, it's because there's 9 different things that you must know in order to actually get to baseline fluency on the piano. So I'm going to break down those 9 things right now. The first thing that you need to know in order to get to baseline fluency on the keyboard is the major scale pattern. And this only takes like a day. Honestly, it's very simple to learn. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And then you can learn it in different keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. But once you know the pattern, it's very simple, so it's very simple to learn. The second thing that you have to know in order to get to baseline fluency on the keyboard is knowledge of the number system. And this is going to take about a week to get within your system, and it's just very simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And then in the key of G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And then you'll need to learn how to play different chord progressions. The third thing that you need in order to get to baseline fluency is being able to play in both hands. And this is usually going to take about a week to get through, but it's quite simple. You're just adding the left hand to those chords. The fourth thing that you need in order to get to baseline fluency is adding rhythm and color. And this will usually take about 2 weeks. So it's doing those same chords, but just adding some rhythm and color. The fifth thing that you need in order to get to baseline fluency is knowledge of key signatures. And this is going to take about 2 weeks to get under your fingers. So just like we did the C scale and then the G scale, so these are 2 different key signatures, and we need to be able to do those chords in the key of C and the key of G and say the key of A. Now the sixth thing you need in order to get to baseline fluency on the keyboard is inversions. And this is going to help you play seamlessly all the way up and down the keyboard. And this is going to take a little bit longer. It takes about 6 weeks to really get this in your fingers. Now the seventh thing you need in order to get to baseline fluency on the keyboard is mix chords. Mix chords take about 4 weeks to really get under your fingers, and they're any chord that's outside of the typical key. So for example, you might go a 1 chord, 2 chord, to, instead of a 4 chord, we might go to a 4 minor chord to just add a little extra flavor. And again, this is a mix chord because it's outside of the key. And then going back to the 1. Now next, the 8th thing you're going to need in order to get to baseline fluency on the keyboard is your chord extensions. So these are your 7ths, 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths. These are very jazzy sounds, and these can take about 4 weeks as well to really get under your fingers. And the last thing, the 9th thing that you need in order to get to that baseline fluency level on piano is adding the melody. And typically we're going to add the melody in our right hand, and then in the left hand play some chords. This can take about 4 weeks to get under your fingers. And there you have it. So if you total all of those up, you've got 1 day plus 1 week plus 1 week plus 2 weeks plus 2 weeks plus 6 weeks plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and that makes 24 total weeks, which there's about 4 weeks in a month. And so if you divide 24 by 4, that gives us 6 total months. So that's how we get to the number of it takes about 6 months to get to baseline fluency on the keyboard, obviously given that you're practicing the right things. Now, of course, this is something that you can go about on your own. You can keep YouTubing different videos, you can look up things online, but ultimately, if you just want a more seamless way to ultimately knock out all of these different pieces that you need to get to baseline fluency, then I want to encourage you to go ahead and click the link in the description. That will be a link to our 6-month Piano Academy that just literally goes down the list, checks all of these things off, and ultimately gets you to baseline fluency on the keyboard. So if that's something you're interested in, click that link in the description below, and then I'll see you on the inside. All right, see you guys.